Hey, what's up, app Mafias? Welcome back to The Commute. My name is Hitesh Kohli, and in this video, let's talk about Kotlin basics. Before we step into data structures and algorithms, or we try to solve lead code, we need the basics, the foundations in Kotlin. In this video, we'll try to explore some of the basics that you might need to solve lead code questions. Let's get started with understanding power in Kotlin. Let's try to understand how to give power in Kotlin. Let me write it down and quickly make a function, a result of type of count of double, which expects an int, and this is the function. Now, as you can see, the count is actually of double format, not an int format. Why so? Because double provides us a function called power, and we can say count here as well, and we just return this. Since it will return a double, we need to make it an int. Yeah, it is. So let's try to use result. Let's say 4, and it will give us to 56. 4 to the power of 4 is 256. As you can see, it gives us 256. Now, the count, if I try to make it an int, the power variable is not a part of int format, int data type. So double, or you can use float as such. The power works with float and double as well. So you have to use float or double to use this particular function. Hopefully this makes power clear in Kotlin. Let's try to explore some more basics here, which is, let's try to see implicit and explicit declarations in Kotlin. Now, when I declare a variable or result is equal to 2, what do you think this is? This is an implicit declaration. Why so? Because I'm not identifying what the result variable data type should be. Let's try to add an int type here. Now, this is an explicit declaration. I'm explicitly declaring that result would be type of int. Now, if I try to change this to be double, it will give us error because the type is expected to be int. But if I just remove this and say double, it would be of type double. As you can see, this works perfectly. Now, this is called implicit declaration. And if I make this, if I add a data type, this is an explicit declaration. Hopefully this makes explicit and implicit declarations in Kotlin clear. Let's try to explore some more. Let's talk about Kotlin null safety. Kotlin null safety. What if I have a variable of type of string, and from the JSON response of the server, I receive a null value, right? As you can see, the vehicle does not accept the null value because it's of type of string and it's a non-nullable type. Now it gives us an error. Null cannot be a value of a non-null type string. So how can I make it null safe? By adding a question mark here, and now the string question mark actually says that vehicle will accept a null value as well. Let's try to print this vehicle here. What will it give? It gives us null. Let's say print ln instead of print. It gives us null. Okay, let's assign vehicle is equal to car. Okay, then print ln, yeah, and let's say vehicle. Okay, now what does it give? It gives us car. As you can see, the null value is changed to car now, and the string format works perfectly. This is how the null safety works in Kotlin. Let's try to understand exception handling in Kotlin now. Exception handling. It is an important part of any kind of API calling, and exception handling is really important. If we try, exception handling includes try and catch functions, and they're used to catch exceptions so that your app may not crash. Okay, let's try to explain exception handling with the help of an example. Let's say our number of vehicles is equal to array of 1 2 3 4. Okay, now this is working. Array of an int array right here, array of int. Now let's say try number of vehicles, and let's say we're expecting a 4 here. If there is an error of type of exception, just say println the p will be small, bro. Println exception occurred. And then finally, say println function was not executed. Okay, let's try to add space here. As you can see, it says exception error, exception occurred, and we have function was not executed. Why? Because number of vehicles of type 4 is not present. Index 4 is not here. 0, 1, 2, 3, and there's no 4. Let's try to see 2. What happens here is we get the exception, not the exception, but finally function was not executed, this one, and we have 3 here. So the finally is executed. So let's not say this, let's just say this run function was executed, and we get 3, 0, 1, 2, which is 3. Yep. So this is how exception handling works in Kotlin. Let's try to explore generics in Kotlin. Generics are really important because you'll see a lot of generics being used in open source languages, open source libraries. So understand generics. Generics in Kotlin are created so that we can return or accept any data type without creating new classes. That's what generics are used for. Let's try to take an example. Class print val of type of t. Okay, and it accepts a data or var data of type of t, right, which is a generic type. Right, now this is a class which is of type t and expects a data which is of type t, which means it's generic. It may be any value. Okay, let's just call a function set value. Okay, value of type of t. Okay, and we'll say data is equal to value. Now this is a setter. Let's make a getter as well. Get value, and it will return a type of t, right? Let's say return data, right? Print val, print val. Okay, first of all, we need to make a class. Let's say data of type of hello. This is there. Now what does it say? It doesn't say anything. Let's say print val data hello dot get value. It should return hello. As you can see, the get value just returns the data which is of type of t. It's a getter and setter that we are doing here. So basically in the set value we say whatever the value here we have, set it as the value and pass it to data. But get value, we're just saying return the whatever the data value. Let's try to say set value here, value, and I think so it will expect a function here. Yep, we're expecting something. Let's say good morning. Now the data of this with this set value of this data will be changed, and we have this set value. Now let's try to get it. Get value. Of course we cannot access that. Print val, let's assign it to a class where t is equal to this thing. Let's cut this out. re dot set value, not set value, and re dot get value. Now what it will say is good morning. As you can see, the value of the data changes to good morning, and then we get the value. We can print the get value right here. Hopefully this makes sense. This is how the generics will work in Kotlin. Let's try to understand var arg. It's just a variable in an argument. That's what it means, and it helps us to actually accept an array in the input of a function. Let's try to say function var is equal to var arg of type value of type of data of type of int. So it accepts an argument of an array of type of int data dot for each print ln it. Okay, let's just call vars. We'll say 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now it accepts directly. As you can see, the var arg actually, we do not need to create an array of here. It automatically creates an array inside of, accepts an array of variables of type of int inside of this construct. As you can see, the var arg functions this way, and we have this 1 2 3 4. It prints ourselves this time. Hopefully this makes some of the functions and some of the basics, some of the foundations in Kotlin clear. Thank you for watching. This is it for now. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.